Shop from Scrap Secrets, and welcome to the second episode of MFT's Summer School Challenges. So this is the complementary colors. I've chosen blue and orange, and we're going to do the little beach girl set. And we're going to be using the Beach Builders dynamic set. We used the water and the beach scene, the beach part, and then the circle for the sun. And I'm going to be using some distress inks to color these in, some Copic markers to color her in, and we're going to use the cloud stencil to do the background here, and we may also do some waves on this. I'm not really sure yet. So I'm going to put this stuff over to the side, and we're going to work on the background of the card. I've already cut the card base to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm just going to start with some tumbled glass, which is my lightest color of distress ink, and we're just going to start inking things up. Just kind of going off of it pretty lightly to create that cloud background. Just kind of going to make some clouds all over the place. I'm not great with this. I've seen people who are really good with this stencil. I wish I was, but I'm not. I just got it maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, so I've only used it on 1 or 2 projects. So kind of color it in, although I don't really think you can go wrong with this. I think it's kind of made to be dummy proof, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm good at it if it's made to be dummy proof. So just kind of wanted to get a little bit of texture in the background, and I'll show you what it looks like. It's very, very light. So even though this is a daytime sky, we're going to pretend that the sun is glowing orange. We're gonna do some Copic markers on this. So I'm taking YR14, and this is, I believe, the lightest of my oranges, because yellow is not a complementary color, so I just figured we would do some orange for the sun. Some of it's kind of going to be a little bit of interpretation, and I don't have that many orange Copic markers, so we're just kind of going to have to improvise. And then I'm going to take YR18 and go around a little bit of the edges to kind of make it more three-dimensional, make it look kind of like an actual sun. So these challenges are fun. This is the first version of them. All of the cards, if you wanted to win prizes, have to be in by tomorrow. So that's kind of why I'm rushing tonight. I didn't even realize about it until the other day, and kind of wish I knew and had more time. But again, this weekend I really didn't have much time. So kind of saturated the paper on that one. So I'm just going to wipe up. The nice thing about this craft mat is that everything just kind of wipes right up on here. I'm going to try to go and blend this a little bit more, because there's kind of a harsh line that you can see. I tend to have problems with that. I'm not very good at blending. Actually, the back side kind of looks better. So we'll see once it dries what I do. There's the front and there's the back. So we'll see. We'll put this off to the side. Now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to color in the sand and the water. Now normally I would do this backwards, but because the brown is not a focal color, it's not part of the complementary colors, it's a neutral color, I'm just going to do the smaller piece as the sand. And the nice part about it is you can do that. You can kind of do whatever you want. You can make either side be the sand or the water. So whatever your scene calls for more of, you can use the larger piece on. So I'm not sure if we're going to use that wave die. It's like the clouds die. And I don't really know yet. I don't know if we're going to try to do that. Most of this is actually going to be covered up by the little girl. So again, in these challenges, you can use neutral colors like browns and grays and blacks and whites to accentuate it, because it's really hard to just stick to 2 colors when you're looking at doing a whole card or doing a whole scene. It's really, really difficult to stick to 2, even 3 colors. So that's why using neutral colors comes in handy. Like using this brown on the sand, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to do this card. Because you can't have a blue or an orange beach. I mean, you could, but it's not very realistic, and I'm trying to get these to be a little bit more realistic. So here's my sand. Again, not very evenly blended out. We'll work on that. So let me see if I can, I'm not sure if I want to, maybe I will. Maybe I'll put like one little wave in here. We're going to use Salty Ocean. And just like maybe a really light hand with the Salty Ocean. Oh, well, there goes that idea. It's such a small piece. Let's just see, maybe this. I hope I didn't ruin it by doing this. You can see this is one of my problems when I do distress inks. You can usually see the blending tool that I use, the blending foams. So let's try. Like I get little circles in some of my things. I may have to come in with another color, like maybe Mermaid Lagoon. It's so hard because the piece isn't taped down. So probably not the best idea. So, but this is what happens when you experiment with things. You know, you get different colors and you learn what you should and should not do. Alright, so I'm going to go in with a little bit of Mermaid Lagoon on the edges, maybe just kind of blend it out a little bit. See if I can fill in some of the gaps and make it look a little bit better. Like the last card, these are all experiments. Like I said, I have a plan in my mind about how things are going to go, and it never goes that way. So does anybody else ever have that really happen? You know, you have an idea in your head and you're like, oh, this is what I want to do, and it comes out and you're like, that was nothing like what I had planned. That is basically 99% of my crafting days. That sometimes it comes out better and sometimes it does not. So I guess that's what crafting is all about, is just working on creating things and, you know, enjoying yourself. So I do love crafting, which is why I do it. So, okay, so we're just going to clean up this mat real quick, and I always get distress ink all over my fingers. And we'll clean this off in a little bit. I'm going to put this off to the side. So I'm going to put this up here because the water is going to be at the top, or towards the top, and the sand is going to be at the bottom. Okay, actually, I don't mind it that much. I don't actually think it looks that bad with the clouds in the back and then the sun up here. So I think it's going to look okay. I think I'm going to like it better than the first card that I did. So we'll see. Maybe I just needed to get some crafting mojo back. So now we are going to start coloring in the image. So now her hat is going to be blue. I can't even talk today. It is going to be this orange color. And we're going to have it match her bathing suit. So I think what I want to do is add in a strip of blue, kind of like this. There's a strip on her hat. I'm going to color that in blue so that it kind of matches. So that we do have some blue in the bathing suit, or I may actually just do polka dots on the bathing suit. So I'm going to color the inside of the hat down here with a darker color. That's where the shading would be. And then kind of just the same thing, do around the rim so it kind of looks more rounded. And Copics don't always want to blend with each other. That's one of the things that you have to really work on sometimes, is blending these colors out. Obviously, again, I'm not great at it, but I do try. There would be a little bit of a darker band, I would think, underneath her, underneath the stripe on here. So now we have that. I'm trying to pick the color blue that I want, and I think I want that aqua, the ultramarine. So let's see how that looks next to the orange. I might do it in the darker color, the darker orange. Okay. Let me see. I'm gonna see if this will work. I'm gonna color some of this out, and then I'm gonna see if I put blue dots on it, what will happen. I don't like that. I'm glad I did not do that first. So we're gonna do the band on her hat. It's really dark. This blue is really dark. I don't know if that's why I don't like it. Let's see if we can find a little bit of a lighter blue. Nope, this is a little bit darker. This is Stratospheric Blue, B69, and this is B29. I'm still learning what colors go together. Not great at it yet. So I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to do the blue bathing suit, blue top, and orange bottoms. Again, when you're doing two colors, it is very, very difficult to, because you only have two colors to choose from. There are different shades of the color, but I'm trying to stick with only a couple basic supplies. So then we're gonna do the orange bottoms. I think that's pretty popular, mixing and matching different types and colors of tops and bottoms now. So we'll just say it is. Then we're gonna just do a little bit of darker orange around the sides of her bathing suit. The blue is so dark that it's not really gonna make much of a difference to do much shading. And again, like I said in my last video, I am nowhere near a great Copic colorist. So don't follow any of the rules that I do, because they're probably all wrong when I color my images and things in. So we're going to use the other orange that I have and do the tube so that it's still all orange and blue. And then we're going to do the blue bucket with an orange shovel. So I'll just color the orange in while I'm right here, right now. And if you didn't see my last video, I used my brother Scan and Cut to cut these images out, and I am so amazed with how detailed the brother Scan and Cut got on this. It cut out so nicely. This marker seems to be spreading a little bit. So I'm gonna leave, let's see if I can find like a little bit of a lighter blue to do the top. Just gonna put a little bit of a lighter blue in there, just so that you can kind of see the contrast between them. So here is the girl right now. We are going to use, let me see if I have a little bit of brown. I'm just going to grab a brown marker here and just to do her hair. I'm not really going to do any shading or anything. We're just kind of, she just has a teeny tiny bit of hair that, since we already did brown for the sand, that I could just color in very quickly. And we're going to do the same color skin tones as we did in the last one, E00 and E11. So, and then sometimes I will actually put a little bit of pink on their cheeks with blush. I think it's R20 is blush. But apparently all of my characters are white as ghosts. Because they are super pale, which probably is because I am super pale. I was out in the sun and I'm still very, very pale. But I think it's time for me to get a new marker. This was one of the very first Copic markers that I ever got, this E00. I got it in one of those multi-packs from Michael's, I think, when they had, you know, I used a 50 or 55% off coupon. And it's lasted me a long time because it's one of the colors that I use on pretty much every person that I color. And so it has lasted a long time, which I'm happy about. And I kind of sketch in knees when I do this so that you kind of get the natural bend in the legs. And then I just kind of go over them so that it looks like she has some type of knees. Okay, let me just color this in. Then we can work on putting the card together. So here is the image. Now, if that bothers you right here, you could cut it out. You could put sky in there. It really doesn't matter. Oh, I forgot to do this little guy. It doesn't bother me that much. And the same thing with the inner tube here. You could do that. You could cut it out, but I'm not going to. So we're going to glue the bottom down first. So this is really old Martha Stewart glue, like I said in my last video. This is, God, I don't even know how old this is. It's probably been, I think it was expired when I bought it, but it still works. So I didn't realize glue actually expired, but apparently it does. There was an expiration date on it, and I remember thinking, that's just so weird. I never thought glue would expire, but I guess I was wrong. But it still works. I have a large Zig pen like this, and I do use it. I just don't know where it is at the moment. I don't know how much of my desk you can see, but it is a disaster. I definitely have to get in here and clean it up. I have a lot of projects that I have to work on. I just did some shirts for my sister's friend who left for Disney today. I have more Disney shirts to do. Both of my siblings and their families are going to Disney at some point this year, and so I have to do shirts for them, and I also have to do shirts for my best friend and her husband. His whole family is going to Disney. His parents and his brother and girlfriend and their baby are going to Disney, and it's two of them. It's their first time at Disney, so I have shirts to make. I have surprise wedding anniversary invitations to make for a girl that I went to high school with, her parents. So I have a lot of stuff going on, so just gotta get in here and clean this up eventually. So, well, I'm definitely liking this card a lot better than I liked the last one. So this is the Complementary color challenge, the blue and the orange. So I really, really do like it much, much better than the other one. I didn't think I was going to, but I do. So hope you guys like this. And again, this was the second card in under 20 minutes, which for me is phenomenal. It's usually, it usually takes me like an hour and a half to make cards. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have comments or questions about any of the supplies that I used, any techniques that I did, please leave them below or message me, and I will see you guys again soon for another video. Bye!